You're listening to She's Got Drive podcast, the podcast that inspires women to be the driver in their own life through the life and stories of Black women with drive. And I'm your host, Shirley McAlpine. I'm a business consultant and executive coach and a leadership facilitator, working with people and organizations to live their lives by design and not default. Now, this is a She's Got Drive short this week, where it's about what's been driving me. And in this week, I talk about, when I'm in my shorts, about what's occupying my mind, my energy, my time, and my spirit, the thing that's inspiring me, the thing that's driving me crazy, and what I'm doing about it. And this week is all about reviewing 2019, because I looked at the schedule and I realized that we have 5 more weeks. 5 more weeks until we get to the end of 2019. Now, I am so passionate about reviewing the year before you really go to work and really figure out what your next year is going to be, because so much so that in 2017, I have an episode, I think it was episode 27. In 2018, I had an episode, I think that's episode 44. If you want to listen to all of the episodes and figure out which one you'd like to do the review, like in the previous episodes, I talk about reviewing with your family. I think I did that in 2018 episode. So if you want ideas on how to do a family review, then that's in episode 44. This one is a process that you can do in pairs, but it's really designed for you to do with yourself. And this is probably what I'm going to do this year. I like to change it each year. I like to change it up a little bit because, you've got to keep on your toes. So that's what's been driving me this week, is thinking about how my year has been. And so I want to give you this process to help you, because it's the process that I'm going to use. Now, why is reviewing important? So you may be a listener who wasn't with me in 2018 or 2017. And so let me just share with you why I believe doing a review is so important. And really and truly, it's really key that we spend some time to learn our lessons from what has happened in the last year, and that we are able to acknowledge the things that have gone really, really well, and then also acknowledge the things that haven't gone as well as we wanted it to, and kind of just put it to bed. There are things that we've learned that we want to take with us, and there are things that we have experienced this year that we would rather leave right here. Thank you very much. And so this is a way of doing that work, and then you can really lean into what is it that you want to get from 2020. And it feels like a special kind of transition point at the end of this year, and only because I'm creating it as much, I suppose, but I'm really keen to do this work, and I might do it. Last week I shared with you, or 2 weeks ago we shared an episode about my accountability partner, Martine Severin, and so I might do it with her, or I might do it on my own, or a bit of both. Who knows? So I'm going to walk you through the questions that I would recommend that you use to do a review. I have prepared a PDF for you so that you can download the questions, so you don't have to copy them out yourself. I've done that because in the previous years when I've done this and I didn't do a printout, then people have reached out to me for the questions. So I now have a PDF that you can download. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to shirleymcalpine.com/review 2019, shirleymcalpine.com/review 2019 to get a list of the questions that you can use that I'm walking you through in today's episode, so that you can just print it out and go into a lovely space and then do your review. Okay, so let's get on with it. To start with, what are the things that you will need? You're going to need time, at least 1 hour, maybe more. I recommend 2 hours. Give yourself the space to do this. So you're going to need at least 1 hour. I would find a really wonderful spot that you want to sit in, that you want to hang out in, that you want to be in. I love going to the Art Institute. It's one of my favorite spots in Chicago. You know, you might take your music with you or on your phone, and I might listen to music. I might walk around the art galleries and then sit and then do some writing as I answer some of these questions. You need a paper and some pens. It's really basic material. And I recommend that you write it down versus type it. There's something that happens for us in our ability to connect to our own experiences when we're writing it down in long form. So that's my recommendation to you. I mean, you can grab a small journal to do this in as well as another way of doing it. And the thing that I would say is important is how you approach it, that you approach it with an open mind and an honest heart. And why those two things? One is be open to see something you haven't seen before about who you are and what you've been doing for the last year. And an honest heart is to really look so closely at what are the things that you have done that have been great, and what are the things that you've done that's not been so great? What are the regrets that you might have for the year? So the questions is a way of getting at kind of both sides, you know, of us, so that we can really see something and then acknowledge that, and then we can put it to bed, and then we can start anew. And that's what I love about the beginning of each year, is that it gives us new opportunities. It gives me and it gives us new opportunities, a new time to create newly and to look ahead and just get excited about what's possible. And that's wherever you are in life. I always feel like that, whether I've had a really tough year or whether I've had an okay year or whether I've had a great year. I start the next year thinking, wow, what's ahead? So I hope that you're going to get value out of this process, that these questions I'm going to walk you through, and you're going to be able to do it. Okay, let's go. The first thing to do is to literally kind of walk through the year. And, you know, I think about January and I think about what was I doing in January, what happened in January. It feels so long ago, I know, but when you're in the environment, you'll be able to figure it out. So what happened in January? What did you do? And really think about, as you walk through January, February, March, April, May, June, July, etc., until you get to now, and you really think about, like, what were the high points of each month and what were the low points of each month, or the high points and what were the low points. I would start there, and just kind of do a little map for yourself. High points, low points of every month, and then you starting to kind of get a sense of casting your mind back. I mean, the truth is sometimes we can't even remember what happened last month, but it's a way of you walking through. If you think about what actually happened in those months, it can start to prompt for you the highs and the lows of the month. Some of our lows and some of our highs are really obvious to us, given the emotional attachment that we have to certain events. So, but there are others where we think, what did happen in April, for example, and what was it like for me? So that's something to start there, walk through, and then I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself about your year. So having done that initial piece, then there's some questions to ask yourself about your year. I would start with, if I was you, something that I'm proud of for the year. And I think it's good to always start with a positive, start with something that would be empowering for you as a place to start. And what we're proud of can also be things that we've accomplished and done really, really well. But it could also be how we handle a difficult situation. You know, I'm not going to give you examples on all of these questions, but if I think about one of the things that I'm proud of is I'm really proud of how I have handled this year and come back like really strong in a number of ways after such a challenging year last year with my mum passing away, which is still very hard, but I really feel proud of myself that I've been able to do what I've done this year. And yeah, so that's something that I'm proud of. So you can choose anything, but you list as many things that you're proud of for the year. And at this other side of that is something that I'm sorry about, something that you're sorry for, something that you may have done or not done, and that has left you feeling a little bit, like wishing that you didn't do it. And you want to put it down, you want to write it down, you want to acknowledge that you did that, and you could have been better in certain situations. So anything that you're sorry for. An experience that you would not be without. An experience that you would not be without. So that you absolutely loved. And so these ones, it's like whatever, like it would just like, what's the things that spring to mind that you think, oh God, I'm so glad that thing happened this year. And so you want to put that down. An experience or experiences that you would rather leave behind. You wish, you were like, oh, that happened. I wish that didn't happen. And I just want to say bye-bye to that thing. So that'd be the things that you would rather leave behind, experiences you would rather leave behind. Okay. Something that you would like to be appreciated for. Like, so if you had the opportunity for a whole row of people to stand in front of you and just say, I want to appreciate you and acknowledge you for this thing, then what would that thing be? So things that you would like to be appreciated for. And the other side of that is some things or some people that you would like to appreciate others for. So there might be things that come and think, oh, this person and this person, this year has been so amazing for me and given me so much that I want to acknowledge and appreciate them. So yeah, like that. So something you want to appreciate others for, and the first one was something you want to be appreciated for. Things. Okay. The other question is my biggest win this year. My biggest win this year. And whatever springs to mind is your biggest win. And let me give you an example springs to mind for me about my biggest win is, if you follow me, you know that I've got osteoporosis. And I discovered that in May. And I came out of the doctor's office and with that news immediately got into action, even though I was really upset about it. And within 4 days I was in the gym starting my strength training with two amazing coaches, Aaron and Ryan, and I am now pulling weights that I couldn't even have dreamt of at the beginning. I mean, it's ridiculous just how much I'm doing now. And I would never have believed it. And so, do I know how it's doing with the osteoporosis? It's hard to tell. It's too early to see the difference it's making. What I know is I'm getting stronger and I'm enjoying it and I'm loving it. And so, that is such a win for me, because that is something that I wouldn't even imagine that I would have done before. And I'm now I train and I run. So totally I'm doing 6 times a week. I'm doing exercise, which is just unheard of in my life before. So that's a complete win for me. My biggest loss this year. So that's another question. So whilst you've got the biggest win, there's the other side is your biggest loss. So what's the biggest loss for you? And it will be right there for you, what it is. You don't have to dig deep usually for those ones. So what's your biggest loss? a couple more questions are, what did I want to do that I wasn't able to accomplish? So this is like you set out at the beginning of the year and you said, I'm going to do the following things this year. And when you look at it, you think, I didn't do that. I wasn't able to. And either you went for it and you didn't accomplish it, or you just didn't even go for it. And this isn't like a judgment. This isn't about judging yourself. This is really about acknowledging. It's like, this is what I said I was going to do. I was going to go for it, and I didn't accomplish it. So I just want to acknowledge that. And what did I want to do that I was able to accomplish? And of course, again, the list of things that you set out to do at the beginning of the year, that you wrote up, that you created, and that you were actually able to accomplish this year. It's also so important to acknowledge that as well, and just like really just like celebrate that. Celebrate, acknowledge, and celebrate that. So those are the initial round of questions, and you write your answers to all of those, and then there's a couple more things as part of this review. And so the next thing as part of this review is, what do I need to let go of in order to let come in? So there are times, it might be an attitude, a state of mind, a self-limiting belief that you have about yourself, an attachment that you have to something, like, so what is it that you need to let go of that would allow the things that you want for your life to enter? So whatever springs to mind as you write that down. That's the penultimate question. And the last question is, in part of the review, is just finish this sentence. I am grateful for ... I am grateful for. And that's when you literally just make a list of all the things that you're grateful for yourself, in your life, for this year, and you acknowledge that. And then, each day I'm grateful for my life and my family, my husband, my children, my friends, the life that I have, and that I get to draw my breath every single day, and I don't take that for granted at all. So those are the things that I'm grateful for, and what are you grateful for? So that's the end of that review process. There are other review processes that I've talked about before, as I said in the previous episodes of She's Got Drive, that you can listen to and get other ideas. This is one that I think I'm going to do this year. I just kind of like to create it and, shake it up a little with my questions and with how I do things each year, just to keep me on my toes, to do this, do it different. So I hope that you found that helpful. And for everyone else, or for everyone, I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye. Well, that's what's been driving me. And the question is, what's driving you? And are you doing what you need to do to put yourself back in the driving seat? I hope that you have got value out of today, and I'm going to have a PDF that you can download with the questions for your review that you can take with you. You can print out the sheet and just take it with you when you are doing your review. So don't forget to do that. The link is in the show notes, and it'll be shirleymcalpine.com/review 2019. shirleymcalpine.com/review 2019. And you can get a free download there to help you go through these questions and then think about how you've done this year. You can contact me through Instagram and my Facebook page. She's Got Drive Facebook page. I don't know why I forgot that. She's Got Drive Facebook page. Please contact me there. And every Tuesday at noon, you will find me there doing a Facebook Live as well. So reach out to me. You can have live questions. I'm happy to answer anything through the Facebook Lives. So feel free to do that. She's Got Drive is produced by Cassandra Fortalina. The music is by the awesome or female band Blonde. The song is called Circles. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, go well and stay well.